Hello Pisces, thank you for joining me for your monthly forecast for September for the Sun or the Ascendant. If you've yet to subscribe to my channel, I'd be honoured if you did so now. This month begins in dramatic fashion. There's such a collection of energy in your sector of relationships, and it's an opportunity for you to really feel very much more positive when it comes to how you interact with others. For sure, Neptune in your sign since 2012, over the last 7 years, has at times provided a bit of a complexity to your view of relationships, and it is true that Neptune's right angle to Jupiter, your other co-ruler, throughout the whole of this month suggests that when it comes to dealing with anyone in a position of authority, a boss, perhaps an organisation, an agency, that if you're trying to represent your point of view, the clearer you can be and the more factual, the more you can diminish the potential for misunderstandings. But as this month begins, the Sun is combining with Mars. The Sun in the sign of Virgo for you is terrific because it's given you a much greater sense of what you need in terms of your interactions with others. Now, need around relationships is something that's very primal to us because connecting to others is part of our DNA. And even if we live in a modern society where we're encouraged to think that living on your own is perfectly acceptable, which of course it is, and I've done it for most of my adult life, there's another part of us that even if we do that, we still need to have that contact. It's part of the nurturing process. And if you are someone who would like to meet someone this month, the fact that Mars, the planet of drive, is alongside the Sun for the first 12 days is really going to give you a lot more fire when it comes to your interactions. But it can also give you an appreciation of what you don't want in your life. So if there is somebody who's not understanding you and not respecting your boundaries and not honouring what you give to them, then the combination between the Sun and Mars can help you to protect yourself in a very positive way. But equally, if you're someone who works in business, or you need to be a bit competitive, or you love sport, then Mars combining with the Sun can also give you a bit more grit. And I think that can be a really good thing, counterbalancing the more sensitive side of your nature. But also Mercury, the planet which rules and governs Virgo, is in the sign through to the 13th. Now, alongside Mercury, in the second week of this month, is Venus. Now, that combination in week 2 is absolutely gorgeous. And if there is somebody that you like, the Sun and Mars are going to embolden you, but Venus and Mercury are going to give you the tactics, but also the charm to come across in a really positive way. If you're in a relationship, not only will Mars and the Sun give you an opportunity to assert your rights and your needs, but the combination of Venus and Mercury can also see you being more tuned in to what a partner needs from you. So your listening skills can be enhanced by this. So you have a lot of assets that you can deploy around all sorts of relationships, and that's a great thing. There is a quarter moon on the 6th, and it is bringing to life that Sagittarius influence again. And it's just saying to you that if you are having an interview in week 2, or you are doing a proposal or a presentation, just be naturally yourself. Don't try too hard. Be as respectful as possible and aware of the needs of whoever you're speaking to, but at the same time, stay true to you. Now, on the 14th, there is a full moon, which occurs in your sign. But this full moon is angling towards Pluto, the planet of change. Now, Pluto and Saturn, of course, have been in a number of conflict situations through June and July, and to a degree in August as well. The great news is that although there is the potential for misunderstandings this month because Neptune tunes in to both Mars and the Sun later in September, I'd like to focus much more on the positive side of Pluto. And Pluto's about change. So if you do find yourself having to make your mind up about a relationship that you're involved with, what Pluto's asking you to do is not just being mindful about what's going on now, it's asking you to think about what the future may hold. So it's asking you to extend your thinking forwards and to think, well, can I actually see this relationship which I've invested a lot in, or I'd like to get to know this person more? Can I actually see this going into my future? Pluto will give you the penetrative insights to really think deeper into the situation. Pluto is also going to be forging an amazing link with the Sun through the 10th to the 16th. And if there is someone you like and you are more convinced that they're for you and your future, it can give you an enormous amount of willpower and drive to try to make something happen. Now, then Mars goes into a gorgeous link with Pluto too. When these two get together, it's almost like we become invincible would be wrong, because none of us is invincible. We certainly become much more committed to whatever it is we believe in. We have much more desire. And your desire to get what you feel you're worth around relationships is really going to be heightened from the 16th to the 24th. Now, Venus moves, along with Mercury, mid-month into the sign of Libra. And that's bringing a deeper, more passionate and sensual dimension to bear, particularly as far as Venus is concerned. They're joined by the Sun on the 23rd on the back of the autumn equinox. Wherever you are in the world, so even if it's your spring, if you're in the southern hemisphere, this is the halfway point in the astrological calendar, the Western tropical astrological calendar. So it's a time for you to be thinking, where you've had all these conversations and interactions and competitivenesses, and as you enter into the last 10 days of this month, I really think you want to know the value of things. So you're measuring this very acutely in the last phase of this month. But the 8th house that the Sun, Mercury and Venus are moving into is also, in a practical way, about resources. It's about the things we share with other people. It's also about ends and beginnings. It's a kind of scorpionic influence. So you may find that your emotions switch from being more focused to relationships to more focused on the value. So it's not just the interactions, it's exactly what they mean to you. And it can become a very exciting process towards the end of this month. And if you are lucky enough to be loved up with someone, it could get very passionate indeed, in a very lovely way. But it can also be a time when you decide that you want to invest more in your entrepreneurial skills, or you may want to go for a new job which has more responsibility or pays more, quite frankly, or you may want to do something to do with property, especially if it's improving a property, so buying somewhere or renting somewhere that you can add your abilities to and bring that more to life. These kind of processes are all really lit up brightly, particularly on the back of the new moon, which occurs on the 28th. Also, Venus and Mercury are forging a gorgeous link to Jupiter as the month comes to a close. And this can point towards a slice of good fortune. Of course, fortune very often comes on the back of how hard we work. So your fortune, if you get it, may be linked to perspiration. But if you have passion about whatever you do, it can put you in the spotlight as this month comes to a close, make you feel much better about yourself. You can feel much more attractive. You could find that someone really is drawn to you in the most magnetic of ways, or it could be that your ideas take on much greater currency with a boss, or perhaps with your marketplace or your customers. But the last week of this month can be absolutely fantastic for you, Pisces. If you'd like to know more about personal horoscopes based on your time, date and place of birth, please check out the link beneath this video and visit my store. You can purchase a character analysis and 12-month forecast with a 30% discount, but also you have an opportunity to arrange an appointment with me personally. But for now, it's been a pleasure being with you. Good luck and goodbye.